Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning this morning. Happy Tuesday morning. God bless you guys. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having an awesome morning this morning. We'll give everybody a chance to jump on. I've got some stuff I want to talk about with COVID testing, some things that we know and we're aware of. We want to share with you guys. We'll give everybody a minute to jump on. Hope you guys are having a great morning this morning. Hope you all are getting ready to celebrate an amazing 4th of July weekend. I've got my America shirt on underneath here. Hope you're having a great day. Where's everybody watching from? Let me know where you guys are watching. Heidi, good morning. How are you doing, Heidi? Paul, good morning from Vegas. Hope everything is good in Vegas. Rosalind, good morning. Kiko, good morning from South Carolina. Hope you guys are well in South Carolina. We got Lee in Alabama. Matt, good morning this morning. Sarah, good morning from Illinois. Hope you guys are great over there. Let's see who else is on here. We got, good morning. Is it Alice? Yes, Alice from Ireland. Good morning from Ireland. Good morning from Alberta, Canada. Jane, good morning from Michigan. All my Michigan folks are jumping on. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you're having a great morning. I wanted to share a few things with you this morning, and I'm super excited because we've got some nutrients that we've been waiting to get our hands on. We just launched it with our practice members yesterday here in St. Louis, and we're going to hook you guys up with some as well. We're going to be talking about zinc in just a minute and the importance of zinc. But before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about testing, okay? About testing. I'm having trouble trying to understand this. I'm asking other doctors. I'm asking our state representatives. I'm actually having lunch with a couple of them today. I'm trying to understand what's going on. I'm trying to understand the fears and concerns we're having. I'm trying to understand what's happening in the world right now. So you guys do me a favor, hit that share button so your friends and family can see this. Good morning from Australia. Good morning from Michigan. Lots of Michigan folks on this morning. Let me ask you a question. If we're having a reduction in the death rate by over 60%, the curve literally has, I showed you guys this just the other day. If I can pull it out, I'll find it real quick. But the death rate has gone just down. It's like, we're down 60 to 70% death rate with COVID-19. We're testing more people than we've ever tested. As of this morning, the CDC says that we've tested over 30,000 people, or have had over 30,000 tests done in the United States so far. Or sorry, 30 million. 30 million tests have been done, okay? Sorry, my phone is just blowing up this morning. 30 million tests have been done, okay? And so what are your thoughts on that? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I think it's good to get tested, but the problem is now we're finding out more information about the test. Lots of false positives, lots of false negatives, lots of false, okay? So let's just go over some of the facts that we do know. Some of the facts that we do know, number one, we know that the death rate of this thing has dropped drastically. We're already back down to the death rate that we had when COVID first came to America. That's a fact, okay? Death rate is down massively. We now know that it's a 99.5, 99.7% survival rate, okay? We know that between 0.026 and 0.4% of the population are going to have a serious complication or death with this thing as of right now. But the more we test, the more positives we see, the lower that death rate's going to go. So I think that's a great thing. But the problem is that people are freaking out. They're literally losing their mind because mainstream media is saying a record number of tests have been done. Record number of detections have been found. Record number of infections. Do we really know if it's more infection versus detection? Yeah, we do. We absolutely know that there are more people being detected on the PCR test, the DNA test for COVID-19. But I want to talk to you about these tests for a minute because they're very controversial. Let me say this. Let me say this. I need you all to hear me. These tests are not FDA approved yet, which means they haven't been validated. If you do a Cochrane study, which if any of you know what a Cochrane study is an independent group of scientists that look at all the data and research, and they put a non-biased, for the most part, non-biased presentation together saying, here's what's happening. If you do a Cochrane study for the COVID-19 testing, they will say for unequivocally that the antibody test literally means nothing right now because there's just not enough data to support it. Also, there's a lot of questions with the PCR test, the nasal swab test. So I want to talk a little bit about that just to give you guys a little idea. But even if the tests are valid and we're seeing all these more detection of infection in our society and our culture, how is that a bad thing? How's that a bad thing? Because the more we find, good Lord, the more we find infections in our population, the death rate and mortality rate is going down even further. So I'm just trying to understand that. Would you all agree with me? I mean, would you all agree that it's just crazy? Now, I got this sent to me yesterday. This is an article that was written June 27th. So it just came out 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And it's by Torsten Eichelberg and Kirsten Dittmer. This is the title of the article. I'll post it with you guys. It's something to think about. It's something to make you go, something that you're not going to see on mainstream media that's important. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about vitamins, vitamin D, zinc, and all that in just a minute, which is another thing you're not going to hear about on mainstream media. COVID-19 PCR test, scientifically meaningless is what the title of this is. I just want you to think. I just want you to critically think. You make up your own mind, but I want you to critically think. So here's the deal with the PCR test. The mantra as of March 16th of 2020, the World Health Organization came out and said, test. We need to test everyone. Well, I was in agreement originally with the testing. I said, let's test everyone and see where we stand. But here's the deal, I know, and physicians know, that this is not an FDA-approved test. Like, listen, this is not an FDA-approved test, which means it hasn't gone through FDA validation. It hasn't shown, complete certainty that these tests are great. Now, we know that no tests are ever 100% certain. We know that. But test takes time. And here's what I need you to understand. To set a test, you have to have a gold standard, right? A gold standard, like a pregnancy test on a urine test or a blood test. The gold standard of a pregnancy test would be like a baby being delivered. You understand that, right? Well, there is no gold standard for COVID-19. Now, with the COVID-19 test that we have now, the PCR test, where they take the 6-inch swab, they go up your nose, down to your nasopharyngeal passageway where your nose and throat come together. They spin it for 14 seconds and then do the other side for 14 to 15 seconds, send that thing out, and it goes to the lab. What happens at the lab is they take that DNA and they replicate it. And the whole thing is they have to separate it. They have to completely separate the COVID-19 virus, which hasn't been done yet. What they're doing is they're taking proteins. They're measuring 3 proteins that are around there that they find with people that have symptoms of COVID-19. So that's how COVID-19 is specifically being utilized. There's a whole difference to this thing, but testing hasn't been validated yet. But even though we may not, I know some of you are saying, I don't trust the FDA, I don't trust CDC, I don't trust the World Health Organization. I understand that. It is very healthy to distrust everything. You should distrust everything I'm saying until I say, here's a copy of it and you can read it. But what they're doing is they're basically saying the gold standard for isolating these proteins to identify COVID-19 to correlate it with symptoms. So like if you have a cold virus, and they isolate the cold virus on a RPP nasal swab, and they're able to go, that virus is seen with these symptoms, runny nose, fever, and chills. That is a gold standard test for a cold virus. For coronavirus, they keep adding to the symptom list. So there's just no gold standard. I mean, there's just absolutely no gold standard for the COVID-19 testing. I truly believe, you guys, that in the years to come, we're going to be able to go back and validate this test and realize that this test was nowhere near as accurate as we thought it was. But here's the deal. I don't really care if the testing is accurate. Why? Because the death rate has gone down so much. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a virus, just like other viruses have come through our country, come through our world, done all this other kind of stuff. These viruses, these RNA viruses, have to attach to our DNA, and that's how they replicate and repair. That's why taking zinc is so important. Like, zinc is one of the most important nutrients that you could be taking right now. Zinc. Why is zinc so important? Look. Let me say this because I'm going to get into this in just a minute. Zinc. This is out of the Pathogens Journal of 2010, November 6, 2010 Pathogens Journal. Zinc inhibits coronavirus and arteriovirus RNA polymerase activity in vitro, and zinc ionophores block the replication of these viruses in the cells. Zinc is important. Zinc is one of the biggest mineral deficiencies on the planet. Most people don't have enough zinc. The soil that we eat out of doesn't have much zinc. Zinc is actually being used now to make pennies, right? We don't use copper anymore. We use zinc. We use other minerals. We need zinc for our body. Right here in the Journal of Nutrition, Nutritional Review, January of 2010 as well, it says low zinc status, a new risk factor for pneumonia in elderly. We know that people aren't dying from the coronavirus. They're dying from downstream infections. And also pneumonia is a big one. Yes, zinc. Zinc is very important. 25 to 50 milligrams a day for a daily dose from the average human being is where they should be. I know. Zinc. Zinc and vitamin D. So here's another one. Here's another journal article. Let me show you this one. Or let me read what it says out of this. It says, increase in intercellular zinc concentrations with zinc ionophores, like quercetin, like quinine, like ruby red grapefruit juice. I mean, all these things help, can effectively impair the replication of RNA viruses, including polioviruses, influenza viruses, and SARS coronavirus. Well, this is SARS-CoV-2 is what this is. Zinc, copper, and magnesium are also important. You should be taking this all year long. You should be taking D all year long and zinc all year long. So that's another journal article. Intercellular zinc concentrations are known to effectively impair replication of the number of RNA viruses by interfering with the proteolytic process of viral polyproteins. It says that zinc also shows and coronavirus replications can be inhibited by increasing zinc levels, but also should be isolated replication complex of RNA. It shows that coronavirus's replication can be inhibited by taking zinc, 25 to 50 milligrams of zinc every day. That's what we should be doing. And I know it's hard to get zinc. I know it is. That's why we get zinc for our patients. You can click that link below. I've got another 500 bottles of zinc that we've got. And we've got them, and they're right there. If you want to get them, get them. Click on that link. I've got like 500 bottles set aside for you guys to get. And if you want them, get them. But zinc, copper, D3, good probiotic, so important. You need to take these 24/7, year long, 365. The right dosages are so important. Look, here's another one. Nutritional Review Magazine, again, 2006, low zinc status. 2010, low zinc status, new increased risk for pneumonia in elderly. What else do we have here? Results from the study concluded, in addition to finding other studies described above, suggested that inadequate storages of zinc might be risk factors for pneumonia in elderly. Well, 60,000 elderly people have died, according to the experts, from coronavirus. From coronavirus. That's what they're saying of COVID-19. That's what they're saying. So please get some zinc in your system. Get some zinc in your body. Start taking vitamin D regularly. Zinc is so important. Yes, zinc. Let's get back to these tests. Now, so here's the deal. What I want you to understand about the PCR test. The PCR test, which is the test that we use to detect COVID-19. This was sent to me by someone that I do some work with some laboratories. They said, we had 7 patients that were sent to us by the health department that tested positive for COVID-19. We retested all of them 3 times. All 3 tests for all those people were negative. Something doesn't sound right. Okay, so there's problems. There's false positives and false negatives all over. And it depends on the type of testing that you do. A lot of the health department testing are maybe not as accurate, at least in this case, not as accurate at detecting COVID-19 as other tests are. False positives, false negatives. Get zinc, get magnesium, get copper, get iodine, get D3. Click on that link below. There's a link for zinc. We got a link that we've got I tell you what, we got 500 bottles of zinc. If you want to get them, you can have a free bottle of zinc, just like I gave away the free D3. If you want the zinc, get it. Click that bottom, you can have it. You just got to pay the shipping on it. That's it. That's it. I'm only giving away 500 bottles of it. We did 5,000 bottles of D. I love you guys, but I lost my butt on that, and God bless you. I'm trying to, keep everything going here in our practices as well. So if you want that zinc, just click on that link and you can get it. Let me show you this. Lack of gold standard. Lack of gold standard. There's a lack of gold standard in the COVID-19 testing. That's a big deal. If you ask, according to the medical journal, the British Journal of Medicine, you ask them, how accurate is testing? Jessica Watson from Bristol University confirms in her paper interpreting the COVID-19 testing results published in the British Journal of Medicine. She writes, there's a lack of clear-cut gold standard for COVID-19 testing. But instead of classifying the test as a suitable SARS-CoV-2 detective test, the diagnosis, what they're saying is it's pragmatically COVID-19 diagnosis itself is the only way to diagnose it. So we just don't have a clear-cut diagnosis is what we're saying. But what I'm saying is this. Who cares if the test is positive or negative? I'm trying to understand if the test is positive or negative, if the death rate is survival rate is 99.5 to 99.7% survival rate, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. If the fatality rate of this is between 0.026 and 0.4%, according to Stanford studies, according to Oxford studies, according to what's happening now, and by the way, the more we see detected of COVID-19, positive COVID test, which some are speculating as well, that these tests are giving false positives because people have had a flu shot which has coronavirus in it. So if they've detected coronavirus in their DNA, which is what happens when you get an injection, that's going to throw off these tests. And yes, a lot of you are commenting. Dr. Oz just this last week was talking about how big of a deal zinc is. Dr. Oz was all over zinc. Zinc stops. Let me just say this again. From an immune system standpoint, by the way, zinc is needed for testosterone production, hormone production. It's needed for digestive function. It's needed for immune system production. It helps with so many aspects of your health. There's a huge study that was done in the Journal of Pathology in 2010, November 2010. It says zinc inhibits coronavirus and arterial virus RNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, which is what we're testing for as well. You need to get zinc in your system. 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams a day of zinc is what you need to be getting in your system. And you need to do this. We need to be focusing on getting our body healthier. We need to be focusing on building up our immune system response. We need to be focusing on eating good foods, clean foods. We need to be eating more vegetables, more lean, clean meats, drinking more clean, healthy water, getting outside and exercising, getting 20 to 30 minutes a day of sun time during the midday sun without glasses on, without sunscreen on your body. We also need to be getting vitamin D. Vitamin D, I just was talking to a friend of mine from the UK. One of their rag magazines came out and said vitamin D does not prevent COVID-19. Well, that's true because there's never been a study that shows that vitamin D prevents D3, so nobody can make that claim. But vitamin D3 is pro-hormonal. It's part of our immune system. Every single cell in your body has a D3 receptor. So you've got to have enough D3. If you don't have enough D3, you cannot be healthy. If you cannot be healthy, you cannot have an immune system response to fight off stuff. It's just that simple. Zinc is the same way. It says right here, we've known about this since 2006. Zinc inhibits coronavirus and arterial virus RNA polymerase in vitro, and zinc ionophores block the replication. Zinc ionophores, things like green tea extract. Zinc ionophores like tonic water that has a quinine in it. Zinc ionophores like ruby red grapefruit juice or grapefruits. These are all important things to do. Zinc, get some freaking zinc. 25 to 50 milligrams of zinc every day. Listen, yes, we have zinc. I'll hook you up with the zinc. Yes, it's good for your kids. They can take it as well. Yes, it's good for adults. Yes, it's good for diabetics. There's no contraindication for zinc. There's no contraindication for zinc. None. So if you want to get a bottle of zinc, I told them 500 bottles is all I'm going to give away. Okay, we did the vitamin D3 last time because D is such a big deal, and you should be taking vitamin D3 for the rest of your life. If you're an adult, according to Dr. Michael Hollick's work, at least 10,000 IUs a day. Now, you should be consulting your doctor and checking your blood levels, but I'm telling you, I find on almost everyone low D3 and low zinc. It's not that difficult. 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams a day of zinc is what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be doing. And vitamin D, 10,000 IUs a day for adults, 2,000 IUs a day for children, 25 milligrams a day for zinc is a good dose for everyone. Again, I can't say this enough. Low zinc status has an increased risk factor for pneumonia in elderly. I can't say this enough again. Here we go. Results from our observational studies, in addition to findings in the studies listed above, suggest that inadequate storages of zinc are risk factors for pneumonia in elderly. Here we go. Increase in intracellular zinc concentrations and zinc ionophores can effectively impair the replication of RNA viruses, including poliovirus, influenza, SARS-CoV, and other viruses. I don't know what to tell you other than you need to take zinc. If you want some zinc, click on that link below and get that. We only have 500 bottles. That's all I'm giving you guys. Because if you want more than that, 500 is what we're giving away. You got to pay shipping and handling. It's a couple bucks. But here's the deal. You need to be concerned about the test. You need to be concerned about the testing. Yes, there's false positives. Yes, there's false negatives. You guys have all seen results that show the reports that show people that have, like nurses that sent in tests that weren't even done and they showed positive, right? They just took them out of the kit and they put them in the shipping and sent them to the lab and they came back as a positive test. You've seen reports out of the United States and other countries where people swabbed fruits and vegetables and all this stuff and sent that off. You guys, how can you have a positive test on something that's not human? It just doesn't make sense, and there's no gold standard. What I'll do is we'll post the link to this video today, or to this article today. You need to have this. Doctors all across the world are saying this as well, that these testings are not valid yet. They're not valid. 400 to 600 milligrams a day of magnesium is what you should be taking. Okay, please. Zinc, vitamin D, please, okay? Please get on that. But what are we concerned about? I mean, I'll put this report on. We'll put this link on today so you can have this. This was sent to me by Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, great friend of mine, awesome person, love her to death. Somebody's asking about zinc. The link is at the bottom. It's myfreezinc.com, myfreezinc.com. Go there and click on it, and you just pay shipping and handling, and we'll set you up with the zinc. It's no big deal. We only have 500 bottles of it, so if you want to get some, get some. It's priority shipping, okay? Listen, here's the deal. Testing. We're seeing more tests happening now than ever, right? We're seeing testing go up. We're seeing detection rates go up because of that. There's a relationship between testing and detecting. You understand that, right? So if we're seeing increased testing, increased infection rates, increased detection of infection, we're also seeing hospitalizations. They're going up, but they're not going up with coronavirus or COVID-19. They're going up because people haven't been to the doctor in 4 months. They're sick. They've been home eating like crap, stressing like crap. Stress is the number one killer of all men and women on the planet. That's what's happening. So the reports are coming out, and we just talked about this again yesterday. The hospitals, I think it was Memorial University Hospital in Texas, they were reporting 100% capacity. That's not true. You guys, 78% of that 100% was non-COVID related patients. We just had a report yesterday here in St. Louis from our county executive, Sam Page, who is all about a vaccine, all about wearing masks, all about drug therapy, all about keeping you home because they don't understand how the human body works. They don't understand the testing. They're just politicians. And they said the last 7 days, we've seen a decline in the hospitals in Missouri. What are we freaking out about? Death rate's gone down. I just can't make any sense of this thing. I just don't understand it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just telling you guys, we need to focus on getting ourselves healthier. That's what we need to do. People are asking, what's on my arm? Well, just this morning I had a vitamin IV. I did an IV this morning. I get an IV every 2 weeks. I've actually been getting one once a week, but usually every 2 weeks I get an IV. It's a megadose vitamin C. It's a megadose B vitamin. It's a megadose zinc, multi-mineral. That goes into my body, and I take that. I also every day take one of my boost packs. right? You guys heard me talk about that. I take additional vitamin D3 every day. I take 10,000 to 15,000 IUs a day. And then I take zinc, 25 to 50 milligrams of zinc every day in addition to that. That's what I do every day. And then I drink a lot of water. I eat clean foods. I get sunshine every day. And I do at least 20 to 30 minutes of some type of exercise plus breathing, okay, is what I do. Here's the deal. We got to stop focusing on the fear and all the scariness and all the craziness that's happening. We got to stop focusing on that. Numbers are being overplayed just like they were. You guys remember, this is exactly what we were talking about. This is exactly what we were talking about before, we had all the riots and everything happening, which took our attention away from COVID for a little bit. So we had COVID come on. We found out all kinds of stuff was a lie. They were lying to us. They were causing all kinds of problems. They were showing false information. There was all kinds of miscommunication. Numbers weren't making sense. People were, we saw that 60,000 people died that were in nursing homes. We saw that a vast majority of people that were going to hospitals, 80+% of them died because they were ventilating them. So we literally were killing people because of standards of practice. So we've got to focus on getting people healthier. Getting people healthier. There's no research that shows social distancing is making a difference. There's no research. There's no random control study. Let me say that again. Random controlled study. Random controlled trial. There's none of that. There's none of that shows that a mask is beneficial, that a mask is stopping the spread of coronavirus. There isn't any. If you want to wear one, that's a personal decision, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But please, for the love of God, don't shame people that don't wear one, because there's just no data that supports that it works. And by the way, why are we making such a big deal about wearing a mask now, 4 weeks into a pandemic, whenever clearly the death rate is going down? We've not only hit the peak, but we're down on the bottom end of this thing, clearly. So what do we need to do? Get healthy. We got to get our weights under control. We know obesity, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, taking lots of medications, anxiety, all this other kind of stuff. All these things are contributing factors. Being on medications, putting you at a comorbidity of being sick and being affected to COVID-19. But here's the deal. The testing, because every time they increase the symptoms, the CDC just added 3 more symptoms of upset stomach, nauseousness, and diarrhea to COVID-19. They added those. So the more the symptoms go, the harder it is to pinpoint the viral detection. Just the way that the PCR testing works. And by the way, the founder of the PCR test clearly stated, now he passed away last year, interestingly enough, but this doctor clearly said that the PCR testing should not be the gold standard and only way to isolate viruses like this. There's a lot of controversy about this, but no one's talking about it publicly. In fact, if you YouTube videos right now on this stuff, you can't find it. This video is most likely going to be shut down, I can promise you, which is why you need to go. If you want to get the D and you want to get the zinc, go there. I don't think we have any more D that we are giving away. We may have some, but listen, these products cost me money to buy. We bought a bunch of them and we're getting them to you. You're paying shipping. We're sending them out priority. It's like $7 to $9 depending upon where in the world you guys have. Click on that link that says myfreezinc.com and get some of that stuff. Zinc is important and it's so hard to get, and you need to get a good quality absorbable zinc. Don't go get just crap zinc that you can buy for $1 or $2 that does absolutely nothing. And you need to have zinc that has an iontopher so that it goes into the cells. If not, you're just going to pee it out. So vitamins that are important. D, 10,000 IUs a day is what most adults use. Vitamin C, dose to bowel tolerance every day for adults and children. Zinc, which is a mineral, 25 to 50 milligrams a day. Taking a good probiotic, the good gut bacteria, eating fermented foods. If we don't have enough good bacteria in our gut, our body can't heal. Our immune system doesn't work. We need to help improve our health by getting the right foods and nutrients in our system. That's it. But going back to what I was originally talking about, the turmoil and the tragedies that are happening. These PCR tests have not been FDA validated. They've not been FDA approved. The antibody tests are all over the place. You guys, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss of trying to understand I'm at a loss of understanding if we're testing more people, we're detecting more infections, but the hospital rates have dropped, no hospitals are being overrun, the death rates are going down. What are we doing? Does this make sense to anybody? I don't understand this. And people are asking about good probiotics. We have a good probiotic that we use. Please make sure it has a bifidobacterium in it. Bifidobacterium. Eat some good, healthy, fermented foods, sauerkrauts, things of that nature. Really, 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 really good. I'm just so confused about what's going on. Let me read a couple of these. These were sent to me. Let me just read some of these about the test. You think about this whatever you want, and then I'm going to get going here in a minute. This was sent to me by a friend of mine yesterday. My mom was not feeling well, and in Arizona, she has to meet with her doctor virtually before they would schedule an in-person appointment. With no physical examination or testing, he declared she had COVID. That was yesterday. She went online to check her medical file, and sure enough, it said in big letters, COVID patient. Again, no test. She then called the testing location to set up an appointment to get tested. They told her that if she came back positive for antibodies, regardless of whether or not she was ill, they would count her as a positive case. She then had to come back in 14 days and get retested. By the way, here's another thing. People that are in the hospitals that are getting tested every other day or every day, those tests all get counted towards the positive numbers that are out there. So one person could get 5 or 6 or 8 tests. Just understand that. That's the way it is. Most people don't understand that. Let's see. What do they say? They said that she should quarantine herself for the next 14 days. So they're basically counting her twice for the same person. Then she said because they count into, yeah. The guy's pissed. He's stunned. Then she asked, what's the point of even getting tested? They had no answer, and they acted like they never thought about that before. So basically, in addition to increasing testing, Arizona is double counting patients. Many of our states are doing the same thing. People need to wake up and understand the spike is a lie. Okay, well, I mean, I can understand that people are getting tested more, and we're seeing more detection. Here's another one. This was sent to me yesterday as well. My sister is an ICU cardiac nurse. She shared on a site most exclusively used by nurses around the country, and recent positives. Many nurses have shared COVID positive patients. Is retested often during their hospital stay, 2 to 3 to 5 times as long as they're there. One example, she had a patient that was tested 7 times positive. That all went to the CDC as positives. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at this. They also were surprised. And this is what they said. I don't have proof of this. This is just anecdotal, is what they're saying. Do not hurt me on this, okay? Here's the deal. They also said that they were surprised by many tests being positive. One nurse sent 2 unswabbed results, and they came back positive, which that doesn't even make any sense, because if there's no DNA on there, how could they possibly test it? If there's no DNA on the swab, how could they test it? If there's no DNA on the swab, how could they test it? Unless there's something fishy going on, there's a mistake, or there's already DNA on the swab. This is the last one I'm going to read. So I shared a story today. A nurse contracted COVID, and in order to return to work, she had to have 2 consecutive tests come back negative. I don't know how often she was tested. She had 7 positive tests before her 2 negatives came back. She has 7 separate positive cases. I heard, this is the 3rd person, I cannot confirm that I've heard a couple stories like this. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But the states are shutting down again. By the way, your states are shutting down again because you have an increased detection rate. You have a decreased death rate. You have a decreased hospital rate, but yet they're shutting down. Why did we shut down in the first place? We shut down in the first place so that we can actually reduce the load of the hospitals, slow the curve of the hospitals, flatten the curve is what we did. But we never spiked anything in the hospitals. Hospital attendances are going back up to where they were this time last year. I don't understand it. Can someone make sense of this? By the way, we need healthy people to get exposed to this. Why? So that we can develop an immune system to it. That's herd immunity. You guys are saying they're trying to get the zinc, but the page is spinning. I'm sure that's because everybody's going on there right now to try to get it. Just keep trying. Go to myfreezinc.com, myfreezinc.com, and just try it later if you can't do it right now. But please do that. And then what I'll do is I'll get this article and I'll put this out so you guys can get it today. So you can do some reading on it and yourself to learn more about what these tests test for, what you should and shouldn't understand and know about them, and the truth. Because the truth will set you free, you guys. I don't know what to say other than none of this makes sense to me. Common sense is not that common in the world anymore. Please, for the love of God, get yourself healthier. Please drink water. Please eat clean foods, vegetables, lean, healthy meats, lots of water, 20 to 30 minutes outside of daytime peak type sun. Please get vitamin D, 10,000 IUs a day if you're an adult. Zinc, 25 to 50 milligrams a day of zinc. Please get a good probiotic that you're taking every day. Start eating some fermented foods. Start taking oral vitamin C every day. Dose it to bowel tolerance. Do that every day. That's what you need to be doing right now. Exercise. Turn off your TV so that you don't freak out about what's going on in the world, and know this too shall pass. Just like SARS, just like MERS, just like all this stuff, and know that we will get through this truly together. But we've got to be doing this together, and that's not just a slogan to make people feel guilted to wear a mask. Masks have not shown. There's not been one randomized controlled study that shows that masks slow or stop the spread of coronavirus, COVID-19. That's just the truth. And if anybody can find me any randomized controlled studies that show that, please send them to me and I'll stop talking about it. But I've scoured and looked. I can't find any. I've talked to some virologists. They can't find any. I've talked to several other doctors. They can't find any. So I'm just trying to find out the truth. So I got to get going. If you guys want to get some zinc, please get some zinc and some vitamin D3. Go to myfreezinc.com, myfreezinc.com. Take this stuff 365. Nonstop is what you need to do. I got to get going. I got some patients got to take care of. I love and appreciate you all. God bless you. God bless America. I'll see you all later today. Be blessed, everyone.